G'day everyone, and welcome to Yowie, the search for Australia's Bigfoot, a series brought to you by Paranormal and Cryptid Adventures. We are out in the most remote location I've researched at yet. Handpicked for many good reasons, off the beaten trail, away from people. Yowie reports all over the area. If you like camping, if you like Yowies, and if you like adventure, do not go anywhere. So kick back, relax, grab a drink and enjoy. This is Paranormal and Cryptid Adventures. Well, there's no mucking around. I just had a rock thrown at me. Damn it, I'm deaf in my left ear. And it's never a problem in my life. Except right now, I don't know what direction it came from. It hit a tree and then I heard it bounce, like clack on a tree and then bounce. Okay, I don't know what the heck that was. I'm almost just recording it as a point. Well, that happened. Let's get back to it. I mean, look at this area. You can get lost in here. You're just surrounded. All you got to do is crouch down and ain't no one seeing you. And this is why I love this spot. Any Yowie in the area can absolutely spy on me so easily. Okay, so this is going to be where my tent's going to go. I'm on a slope, which I've always said I don't mind because it mimics the kind of slope when you have a decent pillow. But as you can see, there is a lot of work to be done on this floor. I've got to move all these big dead woods. I gotta basically clear this whole area out so that at night I'm not tripping over things and making life difficult for myself. So I'm gonna get to cleaning up this area. It's gonna take, I reckon, a good hour. A good hour. There's only one way to start. I just started. Alright, so I'm about halfway done now. The land is all over the shop. There's a big drop off down to here. There's divots, there's crevasses. There's a lot of leveling out to do here. But it's coming along. I have plans. The planning phase of a new base camp is just the best. Full of anticipation and potential. Hope the Yowies like what I'm doing out here. Let's keep cracking. If you're new to my channel, then you're not going to be too familiar with my techniques. I don't like to go out of my way to chase a Yowie. I genuinely feel that's counterproductive. Yowies don't want to be found. If they wanted to be found, this channel wouldn't exist and they would just be another thing that we're aware of. They're masters of disguise, masters of camouflage, I should say. They're not running around with glasses with a nose and a moustache. They're masters of camouflage, and bottom line is this. In my opinion, you only see them if you get exceptionally lucky or if they allow it. So going out in the middle of the night with a camera and a torch and thinking I'm Indiana Jones, I personally don't believe that's at least the approach that I want to take. The approach that I work on is building curiosity to the point where they want to look in, they want to see. This site will build up, it will come along. I will create little tests. I need to find a gifting tree area in here. That's going to be exciting. What is going to be my gifting tree? Can't be too close to the site, but can't be too far away that it feels unassociated. Most likely it's going to be down this ravine here. So I'll set up base camp, I'll do my thing, I'll play certain music, I'll meditate. You need to go watch my my Yowie communication videos to understand why I will meditate. But I'm of the belief that these things are highly spiritual beings. They're not just, in my opinion, apes that just wander the woods and haven't been discovered yet in Australia or in North America or anywhere else in the world. They have a deep connection to energy and to ley lines. This is what I believe. And accordingly, this site is chosen in association with those ley lines. Now I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But basically, a Paranormal and Cryptid Adventures Yowie base camp is not a base camp where we all sleep and then we trek out into the woods and we aggressively seek evidence. It's actually the exact opposite. We passively seek curiosity. We want to draw them in. We want to encourage them to come in. I've got many ways to do that and many ways that I haven't revealed that will be getting done down the line. Now this site may fail, and if that happens, so be it. We move on to another site. I've got a few planned if this doesn't work out. But given all the thought I've put into this site, I do think that it's going to be a beauty. We are set up, guys. We are set up. Let's take a minute to explain why I've chosen this site. The Australian bush, huge, yeah? Lots and lots of places that you can camp out in. Lots and lots of places that you can disappear in. Lots and lots of places you can choose to call your Yowie HQ. The main thing for me when picking this site was something that was remote. If you're not familiar with my channel, I had a previous Yowie habituation site, and that was at Base Camp Bobby, which is my Bushcraft and Camping Adventures channel's main base camp that I built. And if you're not familiar with it, go check out Bushcraft and Camping Adventures. But recently I came to the realization that it's actually nowhere near as deep as I thought. It's surrounded by campsites, there's people everywhere, and it's outlived its purpose. I have come to accept that, and this is why I'm here today, seeking a more remote and isolated base camp. Now remember, I never do this Yowie stuff with friends, it's always solo, but nonetheless, I want it to be isolated. So this absolutely ticks those boxes. It's off a trail, off a trail, off a trail, off a trail, if you get my drift. And I get the feeling that if someone was to walk all the way out here, they still may have difficulty finding it because of all this great foliage around. And there's really no reason to walk down here. It just goes down to a little creek, I guess you could say. It's a little valley, and there's no destination there. So this should remain quite isolated, quite hidden, and any interactions I get that could be considered human or Yowie, in this place, it's going to be Yowie. There's not going to be humans coming out here. So that was number one. Number two, ley lines. Now, I've already touched on my belief with the Yowies that they're not just animals hulking around being really good at hide and seek, that they are possibly mystical, interdimensional, most likely very spiritual, and definitely connected to energy, or so it seems. So I have theories onto what the stick structures are, and it all relates back to energy. And this location syncs with ley lines. So I have done a ley line map research session, And the major ley lines that run through this state are a bit further north, and they're actually too far for me to travel regularly to have as a base camp. Disappointing, but that's the reality of it. However, there is a minor ley line that runs right through this area. So the energy of this area is still significant compared to areas that don't have ley line activation in them. Now, if those of you who aren't familiar with ley lines, they are simply the Earth's energetic framework. It's a grid, it's a planetary grid of energy. And it's geometric in nature, and it's fully global, and it's not a hoo-ha, woo-woo, whatever they call it, conspiracy theory or crazy talk. It's legit, it exists. The weird part of it is that I've come to be of the opinion that the Yowies use ley lines for many different purposes. So I wanted to be in an area where ley line energy is present, and that's this. So that to me is huge. The last site didn't really have that. It was right on the edge of it, but this is a lot more central to that ley line. So you're still needle in a haystacking, really. So that is the main reason I've chosen this site, for its remoteness and for its potential energetic properties. Doesn't hurt that I see tree breaks left, right and center, leaners left, right and center. However, just to repeat, I also see trees falling down left, right and center, because this is an untouched part of the bush. So it must be put out there that there's every possibility that these areas are simply having leaners, having tree breaks and all that kind of stuff, purely because odds suggest that, you know, if enough trees fall, they're going to fall in a way that makes it look significant. So I'm well aware of that. So it's time to have a feed, and then I might go on an exploration. We need to check out this area. We need to see what we're playing with here. I've only really come here and not walked down there, and haven't walked down here, and there's a lot of places to explore, and who knows what we might find. So I'll take you along with me for that, but for now, it's bye for an hour or two, I'd say. It's time for me to have a feed and settle in. So I think that's a couple of big trees have fallen over in the same area, but it's interesting. It's an interesting spot. Lots of trees down. They are facing all in the same direction, but that's could be very easily a natural cause. We move on. It's cool nonetheless. See how some people might look at that as, you know, something there. There might be something there. But what I reckon you'll find, that's black cockatoos. They rip away at the bark and they're quite destructive. And they do so in an attempt to get all the bugs and the stuff and the food and the good stuff underneath. So I reckon that's black cockatoo. I don't think that's anything anything flooring or anything like that. Going pretty far down here. It's gotten a lot darker. Something's dug something up there, that's pretty cool. Oh, there's big holes all over the place here. That looks like someone's had a stick and dug something out. That's weird. Must be some kind of vegetable or root vegetable or something like that maybe down there. People are going for. I'm not sure. But anyway, we've reached the bottom. That's it. That's another one. You'll notice that these all have sticks in the holes, and obviously the digging tool used to dig it out. I've seen 4 or 5 of them. I'm gonna have to research what they could be digging up. Very interesting. Alright, we'll have a look at that. That's interesting. Got like a double, almost like an X in a circle, almost. Two tree breaks, a whole bunch of other wood. There's this here. That's connecting. That's resting on top there. And that tree under there, that's forming the base of it. It's also a break. Could be nothing, as usual. Could be something. We move on. Another tree break here. Another one in the distance there. Hope you're getting that. And that kind of odd X is right next to my camp. Nice and local. Okay, well, it's getting to the point where I need some real food. Popcorn didn't cut it. So while we've gonna want to discuss what we just saw, I'm gonna dig a campfire. Whew. I'm unfit today. Anyway, now we've got to put the rocks in to create a base, so as I've said a million times, so that roots underground don't burn all the way through. Oh, everything's hard work today, I swear. Alright, that took way too long. Wow, that must have been like so much on fast forward, it was ridiculous. Anyway, it's a really good fire pit. Let's get out of here because, oh man. Here's the tent. Here's something I noticed. Because this tree here looked like it was dead. Alright, I don't think it has any foliage coming off it. So, okay, no worries. I was just going to pull it down. And then I noticed, oh look, there's a leaner in it. With a fork. Okay, it's forked there. You can see here the joint. And it's leaning on it. I'm like, oh, cool. Cool, so there's a leaner there. There's double leaners there. Somewhere. Behind the tree there. There's this leaner here. There's a tree break there. There's more tree breaks through there, and you know what? I'll walk up and I'll show you. Okay, so I know it's not a big one, but just to note it. Tree break next to the log. Tree break right here with a leaner. And then we have 1, 2, 3 trees. Boom, boom, boom. Knocked off 6, and maybe 8 foot. Is it another one of those holes? Wow, these holes, man. I'm sure there's a practical reason. I'm sure it's a food source. Someone comes out here and digs up something seasonally. Okay, now look, the same shape. Tree break. Tree break. The exact same formation as before. And this one, there's a back tree that's been chopped off at about 7 foot, and that aligns with this front tree so that when they align, bang, it's a perfect asterisk. Wow. Alright guys, well, with the sun setting in the background, or almost setting, I think it's time to say goodbye till next week. So we've established ourselves, we're ready to go for tonight. The tent's set up, everything's set up. It's happy days, it's good times, it's all that good stuff. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week in part 2. Take it easy guys, see you later.